Hello everybody, my name is Sadie and welcome back to Katawa Shoujo, episode 6. Yeah! Don't know what I would... Anyway, today, as you can... My voice? I mean, I don't know if it's noticeable, or if, normally it is. I bought a mic. I actually bought a mic, which is right here. I don't know if it's visible. No, it's not. Hey, there it is. Now it's visible. Hey, that's my mic. Oh boy, I shouldn't have done that. There we go. Okay. I messed up big time. But yeah, that's my mic. That's my mic. There we go. Oh, wait, let me... That was a stupid idea. Okay, now it should be better. Okay. Hello, hello. Today, we're playing episode 6. As you can see, right here, this is Hanako. Why is she there? Because I decided to do her route. Mostly because some friends told me it was the route that was the most worth it. And since I'm gonna do only one route, mostly because it would be a very long Let's Play if I did more than one route, and I don't want a huge ass Let's Play. I really want to keep it on the shorter side of things. And also no, that's it. It's because of that, and because some friends told me it was the route that was the most worth it. And they told me, because they watch my videos, they told me that so far my route, the route that I took, could be linked to Hanako's. I mean, the route I'm taking right now doesn't disable Hanako's route. So, cool. So that's why I am going to continue and be as Aniko friendly and as close to Hanako as I can, and always go in her sense and etc. So yeah, let's start, shall we? This is a very long intro. I'm sorry. Okay. For a change, I'm not among the first ones to come to morning class. Instead, almost everyone else seems to be here already. I recognize most of my class by their faces by now, though the names escape me still. The class goes on lazily. I think I'm starting to get into the rhythm of the school. I have even stopped worrying about taking notes and being overtly attentive. The first days, I was pretty high-strung in class. Muto finishes his lecture about electricity early, but continues without a pause about the festival. So as you know, the festival is on the day after tomorrow. I hope everyone's projects are going to be successful this year. Have a good time, but also come Sunday. Please keep the meaning of this festival in your minds. Games and fried food! Everyone bursts out in laughter, and so do I. Yeah, thank you, Mikado. But what I meant was the remainder of his sentence is buried beneath the ring of the lunch bells, and everyone starts packing their things. Mucho deliberates for a moment, but since almost nobody seems to pay attention anymore, he gives up and sits down. Ugh. Oh, anxiety! Anxiety! It's crowded in the hallways, or as crowded as hallways in the school probably get. Most of the students seem to be heading down for the cafeteria. As how? I'm going to make you a one-time only super extra special lunch offer. Hemi's homemade lunch boxes and the privilege of enjoying them in private with two bombshell beauties. Okay. Her overly flirtatious sails pitch echoes in the hallway, a remarkable feat since it's full of people. Emi strikes a very confident-looking pose, as though as an attempt to one-up her own ridiculousness, puffing out her chest and making the V for victory sign with her hand. Sounds delicious. To what do I owe this honor of being invited? You stood there looking real lost and sad, so I thought you could use some company. That is probably the most depressing reason imaginable. So how about it? You're probably really lonely and would eat that awful cafeteria food all alone otherwise. I'm kidding. Sure, I'll have your lunch offer, with pleasure. Let's go to the roof. The roof? Why the roof? Because that's where we eat lunch. And if I don't get up there, then she'll probably wander off, and then I just know she'll go hungry because she never packs a lunch for herself. Who will? Come with me! Hanako, please. Without answering my questions or waiting for a response, she grabs me by the arm and drags me through the hallways. I attempt to make conversation on the way. Why do you have it next for lunch? Emi smiles guiltily. Actually, it's yesterday's lunch. I slept in a run at lunch and forgot to eat it. Huh. Nice. The stairway to the roof is a little dilapidated, but it's clearly been used recently. At the top of the stairs is a door, complete with missing padlock. I wonder who the intrepid individual was that removed the lock. Probably Emi. Emi shoves the door open and steps beaming into the sunlight. Oh, that's a harmless girl. A horrible way to describe someone. Just take their fucking disability and add girl or boy at the end. Suddenly a tall dark stranger appears out of nowhere, standing imposingly in front of us. Emi flinches back, almost falling back down the stairs. Hello? That's just Rin. Yeah, you scared me, Rin. Wait, isn't she... Hello? Noticing that Rin is speaking to me, Emi looks curiously at me. You two know each other? I look confusedly at Emi. She's that friend of yours? Rin has turned her gaze towards the clouds drifting above the school. I didn't know you knew this person, Emi. The awkward silence lasts only for a few seconds until Emi lets out a tiny giggle, shrugging the coincidence off. I invited Isao for lunch. If you know him, that's just better. Oh, does this mean I don't get food? Or did you invite him for lunch without the lunch? Neither. I have food for 3. Nice thinking. They walk to the other end of the roof while I stay at the clock tower for a while, taking in the atmosphere. There's nobody else but us here. I guess the roof is not as popular as it is in other schools. A few rundown benches and tables are scattered around the edges, perhaps in an attempt to make the rooftop look less desolate. The small pebbles covering the roof rattle beneath our feet. I peek through the chain-like fence to take a look at the school grounds and beyond. Students are strolling in pairs and groups around the quadrangle and at the cafeteria. A few delivery trucks are driving past the school towards the convenience store nearby. Somewhere a watchdog barks at a passerby. Somehow, when I look toward the town center, the small town feel strikes me very strongly, almost palpably. The hectic lifestyle of big metropolises seems so far away and foreign here. Nobody has to run to catch a bus like their life depended on it, or get their senses overloaded by the neon lights and traffic jam. I feel surprisingly optimistic about this new life of mine, looking at my new hometown, even if it's going to be mine for only one short year. Finding out about my illness and having to move away from home all came so suddenly, I haven't had time to think how I feel about it. When I step out the shadow of the clock tower to the open, I feel warmth touching my back. The sun shines from a perfectly clear cerulean day. A cool breeze sweeping over the rooftop makes me shiver, but only briefly. How much time are you going to spend describing this, for fuck's sake? The wind carries the scent of trees and flowers, not smog and car exhaust like it used to just a few weeks ago. Emi settles on a bench with Rin in tow and produces one big and two small lunch boxes from her bag. Come on, Tow, what are you waiting for? She's beckoning me to join them, making room on the already small bench. What was that zoom for? I see myself on the corner of the bench to take as little space as possible. It's pretty cramped, but somehow all three of us fit on it. Impressive view. Emi suppresses a giggle, and places a lunchbox in front of Rin, and hands another lunchbox to me. Here you go, lunch is promised. Homemade, no less. I'm impressed. Wow, this looks really good. Thanks, making myself when I can. Conversation dies off, and I set about the business of fitting myself. Taking a few bites, I glance up and notice Rin deftly opening the lunchbox and popping a forkful of food into her mouth, using only her feet. Even though I've seen it before, I can't help but be impressed at their dexterity. It's also a reminder of the sort of place I am in right now. Will I ever get used to sights such as this? I can't decide if getting used to such a thing would be a good thing or a bad thing either. Does getting used to this place mean that I'm giving up on being a normal person? Or does it just mean that I'm becoming more understanding about those around me? I'm distracted from my thought by the sight of Hemi tearing into her lunch as if it had insulted her ancestors. You seem pretty hungry. Hemi looks up, mouth half full, and swallows before nodding. My morning run always works up an appetite, which is great because then I burn through lunch pretty quickly. Helps me keep my girlish figure. What would happen if you lose it? Would you become a man? I very nearly choke on my lunch trying not to laugh. It's a figure of speech. Does your figure have to run in the mornings too? You always talk like this? Talk like what? Like what? I think that answers my question. Never mind. So, struggle to think of small talk and settle on the obvious question. How'd you two meet? Rin seems content to let Emi answer this question. Someone in the housing department thought that we'd complement each other well, so we were assigned rooms next to one another. Come on, so... complement each other? Yeah, because one doesn't have legs and the other doesn't have arms. Like shoes and a suit. Huh? And he giggles at my confusion. Put us together and we've got all our limbs, get it? Yeah, so you're dumb. That's... I like how... Okay, that's funny because even them, like, they kind of don't take their disability seriously. I like this kind of people that can laugh about themselves. So I started helping Rin get ready in the mornings, and that was that. I mean, you can't help someone get dressed every morning and not get along. I see. Rin chooses this moment to interject. I have trouble with shirts. Right, that seems fairly obvious. Really? Kind of? This isn't helping, but at least Emi seems to find the whole thing funny. That, combined with the fact that Rin is genuinely curious, makes me feel slightly better and yet confused. I mean, you've got no arms, so putting on a shirt seems like one of those things that would be difficult. You know what? I'm going to just stop talking now. It'll save me a lot of trouble in the long run. That face. Rin nods in what I suspect is meant to be a sage manner. I see. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That is so cringe. Oh my god, I'm cringing right now. Oh my god. Conversation dies as I turn my attention back to my lunch. It's really quite good. Amy finishes her lunch first and makes a content noise. Yeah, that was good. As she busies herself with cleaning up her lunch, Rin speaks up. I'm thirsty. Oh, I almost forgot about that, sorry. the floor, she reaches into her bag and removes a trio of juice boxes. She tosses me one that appears to be cranberry juice, one to Rin that appears to be some kind of strawberry milk, complete with pink color scheme, and keeps an equally pink box of some kind of fruit punch for herself. Whew. Rain dexterously stabs her straw through the top of her box and begins to drink. I'm once again impressed by how flexible she is, but this time I keep my comment to myself. Somehow I don't think either Emi or Rin are the sorts of people to think twice about the way they work around their particular disabilities. Rin especially so. And then she gives off the impression of being entirely unaware that she's missing any limbs at all. Sorry, but this face just makes me laugh. Like, she's just like... I exist. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Whether or not that's a conscious decision is another matter. I'm honestly not sure. Whoa. So, how do you like it up there? Hmm? Oh, it's quite nice, actually. I like high places for the view. Thanks for inviting me up here, and for the lunch, too. Emi grins in a 1,000-watt grin, pleased by my response, I suppose. No problem. Feel free to eat with us next time, too, okay? I will make you lunch, but you can bring your own up here. No lunch service? I don't know. Emi looks mock offended. Trying to take advantage of my good nature? The nerve! She giggles. Well, if that's your answer, I guess Rin and I will just keep eating lunch all alone. Oh my god. Oh, she's cute. I am suddenly assaulted by the most heart-rending puppy dog eyes I've ever seen as Emi pouts. Kidding! I was kidding! I'd love to eat lunch up here again. Good location, and the company's okay too. Dude, can you be even more insulting? The company's okay. Damn, dude, you're not gonna pull any game here. Yeah, understandably so. Emi frowns a bit at my declaration of okay, but seems happy enough that I've just accepted her invitation. I guess this makes a friend now. Or at least acquaintances. The lunch bell rings, and I return downstairs. Rin, you didn't finish your lunch again. I wasn't that hungry. If you don't eat more, you're gonna fade away. Okay. Rin shrugs, as if this is an acceptable risk. Come on, we'd better get going. The three of us head down the stairs together. The afternoon class passes. Once again, I found myself without a plan for something to do after school, so I head to the library to return a couple of books I finished reading. Walking inside, I see that there are about as many students here as there were on Tuesday, all the more evident from the almost total silence enveloping the room. Jesus. Cool. As I drop the books I'd borrowed into the return slot in the counter, Yuko suddenly pops up from behind it, quite startled from the banging they make as they hit the trolley next to her. Ah, sorry Yuko, didn't mean to startle you. No, that's fine, it happens a lot, I'm used to it by now. Can I help you? It's okay, I think I know where everything is. Thanks anyway. I suppose I'll grab another book or two while I'm here. There's not much else to do, and after reading so much during my stay in the hospital, it's become a hard habit to break. I wandered down to the fiction section towards the back of the library, scanning the bookshelves for anything that catches my eye. As I do, I look over to the corner where Anako had been the last time I was here, not really expecting anything to come of it. Hey! Hey, look! Look, it's the same! It's the same! It's the same, look! Anyway. Although mine is more, filtered. let's say. Anyway, surprisingly though, she's there, absorbed completely in a fairly thick book. I decide against intruding on her like last time and get back to finding reading material. Okay, that was anticlimactic. Okay, whatever. After an indiscernible amount of time spent perusing the aisles, I finally decide on a couple of books to get and slide them off the shelf. With a minimum of fuss, I quickly walk over to the counter, check out my books, and pop them into my bag as I walk out. By the time I leave the main building, sunset isn't too far away. A small trickle of students remain, but the majority have left, presumably to their homes and dorms. I guess I need to buy some supplies. I can't live off cafeteria food and eating out for my entire stay here. As I leave for the gate, I make a few loud stretches to try and stave off the tiredness that accumulated over the week. After passing through and rounding the corner, though, I see a solitary figure walking downhill towards the small town below. The color of her hair and tapping of her cane are unmistakable. I quickly walk up to her, which seems to catch her attention without a word needing to be said. "Hi, Lilly." She takes a moment to place the voice, slightly adjusting her head to face a bit more towards the source of my voice as she does. "Esau? Yep, that's me." She seems to have a good memory for voices. The fact that she actually remembered is a pleasant surprise. "Good evening, what brings you here?" Once again, she gives a small polite bow, and once again I reply in kind before realizing that I needn't do so. "Just going into town, you?" My, what a coincidence. Doing the same thing, huh? I usually go shopping on Fridays. She poses for a moment, suddenly looking a little lost. That said, Hanako usually comes into town with me. Not lost, but worried. The two do seem to keep pretty close tabs on one another. It's kind of surprising that Hanako would just forget Lilly like that. I noticed her reading in the library. She probably got just probably just caught up in a book. She lets out a small sigh of relief. Thank you. She has a habit of doing that. Avid reader? Right, she doesn't like being around crowds of people, so reading away from everyone lets her relax a bit. Although she probably didn't intend it, I can't help but grimace as I recall my first meeting with her. Hardly wanting to bring it up, I remain silent as we quietly continue to walk down the quiet road. Tack, 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 with the road bereft of cars and the students of Yamaku increasingly far behind us, the quiet rustling of the leaves and the measured tapping of Lilly's cane against the sidewalk are all that can be heard. It's kind of nice, especially compared to the hustle and bustle of where I used to live. Before I know it, I've relaxed so much that a law yawn escapes before I can control it. Tired? Yeah, I've been running ragged these past few days. That's an understatement, to be sure. Transferring into a different school would be bad enough, but nothing like this. Well, hopefully everything should settle down for you. The festival's got everyone in a spin right now, and you've been plopped right in the middle of things. For a moment, I hesitate, but given her apparent tolerance for frankness, I decide to give my full thoughts. I guess. Yamaku's kind of different though. I mean, the formality surrounding everything, the isolation around it, not to mention the most obvious difference. It's kind of a whole different mindset. I suppose I'd get used to it, though, in time. She gives a matter-of-fact nod, apparently pleased with my answer. It feels almost as she included me in the flock of students she's sheep-herding, along with Class 3-2 and Hanako. Well, not that I mind, it's nice to get the thoughts off my chest in any case. Looking on the bright side, one could see it as a chance for a new beginning. You should cherish the ability to make new friends. That's optimistic. Nonetheless, it's good to have a positive attitude about such things, I suppose. I guess that's a good take on it. Walking on down the road, she seems to become somewhat unsettled. Before I can ask what's on her mind, she seems to collect herself and speaks up about something else. So, where in town were you going? That's actually a pretty good question. I come to buy food, but the layout of the place is totally foreign to me. I had intended to just wander around and see what I could find, but with sunset already approaching and nightfall not too far away, that doesn't seem very wise. I'm going to have to ask her for directions. Again. I was just going to get some food, but now that you mention it, I don't really know the way. Well, now, this is quite lucky. I was just about to go to the convenience store myself. Looks like I'll be in your care again then. Thanks. Together we walked to the store, my paces carefully slowed to remain beside her. Compared to my usual walking pace, hers is quite a bit slower. Now that, not that it's without reason. After what couldn't be more than several minutes, I catch sight of our objective. This town really is pretty small. Without further ado, we make our way inside with a greeting from the counter. Mind if I tag along with you? Usually Hanako would help me, but seeing as she's not here, it takes a moment before I realize what she means. Considering she wouldn't be able to read any of the labels, shopping without any help would be a big pain for her. That said, I can't shake the feeling that she'd had this idea since I said I was coming here. Sure, it'd be my pleasure. I grabbed two well-used red baskets from the small stack beside the entrance, handing out one to Lilly. She lays it on the ground, putting her school bag in, retracting her cane and sliding it through the basket's handle before picking it back up in her right hand. What if she doesn't use her cane? Before I can complete the thought, she comes beside me and pinches the cuff of my uniform in her slender fingers. Is this alright? Sure. I have no reason not to accept. I can think of worse things than shopping with a pretty girl holding on to me, even if it is out of necessity. We navigate our way through the store, with not one of the occasional passing customers seeming to bat an eyelid. Considering how close Yamaku is, I guess seeing students from there must be entirely normal for the local residents. As we reach each aisle, I quickly check with Lilly and find out what she needs. I grab it along with what I'm looking for and put our items into their respective baskets. I guess this is the same routine she and Hanako follow every Friday. Right, all that's left is the bread, and that should be my shopping done. Do you need anything else, Lily? No, this should be everything. Off we go, then. Hey, is that a reference to the game Off? With a quick side trip to the bakery section, we make our way to the registers. The line, thankfully, is almost non-existent. It's not long before we've both paid for our food and are out of the door. As Lily retrieves her cane and extends it to full length, I waste a minute looking upwards at the night sky while holding both our bags. For a moment I try to make clouds with my breath, but the summer's heat doesn't seem to cooperate. Eventually, she rights herself, taking a quick stretch before taking her bag and leaving me to my tube. You tired as well? The festival preparations have been complete chaos. She's breathing down my neck doesn't exactly help things either. Hey, she's only trying to get everything organized. Better now than later, right? I suppose I'm going to enjoy relaxing in town tomorrow, that's for certain. I guess the festival preparations must be taking their toll on both of them. We walk out into the quiet street, talking between ourselves as we carry our bags of food and supplies from the store. Wait, what's that? I notice a very distinctive figure making its way towards us, silhouetted by the street lamps. For a second, I think it's another male student from my class, but as he, or should I say she, gets closer, I recognize her quickly. Oh, hi Rin! What are you doing out here so late? Rin? Lily perks her head, looking like she's trying to focus and listening more keenly. It suddenly comes to me that I should probably interpret the scene for her. It's Rin Tezuka, I think was her last name, from our school. Oh, she stiffens at the name and gives a complicated looking expression. Something like a forced fusion of a composed smile and a painful cringe. Ah, I understand. Doesn't seem to get along either. So it knows Rin too. Rin turns to look at us, looking terribly out of it. I'm not entirely sure if she recognizes either of us, or at least she doesn't acknowledge if it she does. She looks like a zombie or a statue of a zombie. Slowly, some symptoms of understanding seem to lighten her dark eyes. This is something she must react to. Rin blinks once, very thoroughly. Hello. There's an awkward pause, everyone waiting for someone else to say something. What are you doing here this late? I I was wondering about that myself too just now. What? So people asked that just before and assumed they were wondering the same. I didn't know either. I asked, that's why I'm wondering. But that was pretty much it. It's a murder mystery without a murder. What? They're going that way. She turns facing to her right in order to demonstrate the direction the other people went to, as if that was important, then rotates back like a mechanical puppet in one of those overly complicated clockworks. For a person who gives an impression of being the quiet type, Rin really does use a lot of words to say things that don't need a lot to be said. Unsure if she's finished, I say nothing. Neither does Lilly, who seems equally robbed of words for the time being. I think that both of us are in fact just scared that any response might provoke her to continue. Her stupefied lack of the reaction doesn't faze Rin at all. She keeps looking at us expectantly, a calm hint of expression on her blank face. She seems to be that kind of person, always so relaxed, as if bull elephant grade sedatives were flung in her veins in the place of blood. Do you have amnesia? I don't recall you having anything of the sort, though. No, I don't think it's that. The other passerby were probably just worried, though. You do look really lost, the way you're standing in the middle of the street. Oh, I see. Maybe I should have taken some other kind of pose in that case. I ponder for a while whether I should chase this angle further or give up for the sake of my own sanity. I decide on the latter. It seems that most of the time it's better not to read too deeply into what Rin is babbling about. Talking with Rin is like playing chess with a supercomputer with seemingly completely random moves, as if to mock everything you know about chess. It's like that except with human interaction. And even if I win, it feels like losing. Damn, it's just like Kenji said, even when I win, I lose. This is the power of the girls of Yamaku. Push the thought aside as too dangerous to consider further. It's probably just Kenji's anti-female propaganda getting to me during a moment of weakness. What the fuck is going on in your brain, dude? Yeah, maybe taking another pose might have worked. So anyway, you have no idea what you're doing here. She frowns, looking extremely displeased at either my question, its consequences, or the answer she's about to give. I do have some idea. I can already tell what kind of an idea. That sounds like progress, at least. Lilly sounds as if she spotted an opening for some kind of discernibly normal conversation. I can't say I share her optimism. Yes, there is some, definitely. The rest will come later. I'm sure of it. I always have reasons. The ensuing silence kills Lilly's hopes all too visibly. That didn't last long. Rin's, as far as I can tell, unbased. Assurance aside, what should be done? We could just leave her to her own devices, whatever those are, but it's late and I don't think we'll be getting any thanks if Rin is found standing here in the middle of the night. Which she probably will, unless she manages to remember what she was doing here in the first place. As for me trying to guess what might have been going on in her mind when she decided to embark on this adventure, the chances seem to be on par with winning the lottery. Several times in a row. Lilly is oddly quiet too. I'd appreciate some support from the sidelines here, especially if she's more familiar with Rin than I am. But it can't be helped. It seems her familiarity with Rin is exactly why she's staying subdued. So I assume you were going somewhere, not coming back to the school. Any idea where? Her eyes wide in shock and she jolts back in a somewhat artificial way, making it seem like an act rehearsed for situations like this. You're a mind reader? Is that your disability? How unique. No, what? Why would you think that? You knew what I was doing. It was just an educated guess. We walked the same street in the other direction just before to get to the store. If we were going to school, we would have met you on the way. Oh. She looks a little disappointed. Like Kenji, Rin appears quick to jump to completely irrational conclusions. Yeah, that should probably get together, not gonna lie. Maybe it's something in the water here. I make a mental note to stock up on soft drinks. You know, that is the second time this week that someone asked if I was a mind reader. Do I really give off that impression? Rin shrugs her shoulders, which is all the answer I get. You know, maybe you should come with us back to the school? Lee interjects just as I am about to further debunk my alleged mind-reading capabilities. She sounds rather concerned, the paper-thin smile on her face barely disguising that fact. Maybe she came to the same conclusion as I did. For everyone's sake, I decided to let the mind-reading topic drop, as it's entirely inane anyway. Yeah, Lily's right. If you can't remember, there's no point in staying there. Rin considers this rather simple deduction for a moment, then nods. Okay. We start towards the school again, having wasted way more time than necessary with this episode. Rin walks along the edge of the sidewalk in her arrhythmic way, looking like a mix of sleepwalker and rope dancer, while Lilly keeps one hand on my shoulder, tapping at the ground with her cane. Tap, step, step, tap, tap, step, step, step. Apart from that and a few fragmented beginnings of conversation, it's quiet. Quite apart from the relaxing one into town at that. So, how's the mural going? We're going to get bad luck. Never talk about works in progress. I'm sure it'd be wonderful. Bad luck. Tap, step, tap, step. She doesn't care to talk about it. Lily's politeness feels out of place for the first time. Step, step, step. The hill Yamaku rests on top of is surprisingly steep, going uphill. We slow the pace, but I still feel my pulse rising and breathing getting heavier. I'm almost there. I can see the gates already. More than that, though, I notice that Lily's hand slightly tightens on my shoulder, interpreting it as a gesture that she wants to ask something. I speak up. Anything wrong, Lilly? I resist the urge to say aside from her traveling companion, but only just. For a moment, she seems to debate whether she should even bring it up, but goes for it anyway. Is everything alright? Alright? How do you mean? The fact I can't interpret her incredibly vague question puts her off for a second. It's just, you seem unusually tired, I guess. But now that she brings it up, I notice that my breathing is strangely heavy. The uphill walk has really done a job on me. You noticed it all too quickly. Oh, well, I'm just gonna be honest, right? That's what we want. It's alright, I just need to catch my breath. My condition isn't the best these days. Oh, is something that is related to you being transferred here? I mean, she cuts herself off rather abruptly, maybe realizing she was being a bit intrusive. Her instincts are sharp, though, and while I don't like the subject, it's not like I should lie about it. If it's Lilly, I don't think I mind. I'm just a little weak for the time being. Hanako said you look fairly healthy, so I naturally thought... He doesn't finish her sentence again, letting it trail off with a measure of concern. As she furrows her brow, Lily's uncomfortable expression spurs me to say at least something to ease her feelings. It's surprising she's this flustered, considering her straightforward attitude with her own blindness. She must know that not all share her own comfort about such things. No, it's okay. I have a pretty... I guess the best way to put it would be messed up heart. Arrhythmia. I had a bar heart attack a while ago because of it, and spent most of the spring in a hospital, and then in Yamaku on doctor's orders. She silently nods her head in acknowledgement. My answer, though, only seems to make Lilly furrow her brow even further. She doesn't seem to quite know how to react, given we don't really know each other that well. I can't really fault her for it, given I have the exact same reaction. To my surprise, in a moment's time, her face shows that she comes to some sort of realization. Wait, so the time when Emmy and you collided in the hallway, I grimace slightly. Her ability to connect the dots quite so fast is unexpected. Yeah, I guess I'm a textbook example of why those rules about running in the corridors exist. That was a lot more dry than I intended. Lily visibly shies away from continuing the topic. While I do want to assuage her concern, I really don't want to dwell on this either. Don't worry about it. I try to offer a reassuring smile, but then I realize the futility. Without knowing this, Lily smiles at me reassuringly, but doesn't say anything further. And Rin just is there. Arriving at the dorms, Rin stops in front of her mural as if lightning struck her. She had been so quiet for almost all of the walk back that I had all but forgotten she was here. It's Friday, isn't it? Yeah, Friday the 8th of June. This is bad. Bad? Why? I think I'm going to go in a fetal position and throw up, possibly in reverse order. Is something wrong? No, nothing is wrong. It's Friday and nothing is wrong yet. This mural is going to need to be finished by Sunday, so everything's alright. Do you have any drugs? Or time machine? This is not good, not good. So she's beyond her schedule. Recalling Shizune's exasperation at Rin's carefree attitude several days ago, I don't know what to think. She's left herself open for a told you so unless she can pull off whatever she needs to pull off by Sunday morning. Rin keeps staring at her mural, looking as mortified as she can. Leave me, I'm going to need to work for a while. I glance at Lilly, expecting her to share an incredulous look with me as I roll up my eyes, but then I realize she's not one to do that kind of thing. Leave me. Okay, we do, of course, not wanting to aggravate it her any more than she already is. There is a churning bad feeling in my gut. Rin sure has a knack of making people feel worried about her. She seems like a person who should never be left alone. Maybe we should call someone? She sounded like she was into shock or something. I'm sure she'll be fine. She's just, how to say... Maybe cocks her head a little, trying to find a polite way of calling Rin crazy without calling her crazy. Unique? Yes, a very unique person. Sorry. Um. Ooh. I guess you could say that. She giggles at the notion maliciously, nodding in agreement. Sorry about leaving you stranded as you talked to her. I don't really understand her, so I keep my distance. So my guess was right. Lily offers a slight apologetic smile, as if she was sorry that her own shortcomings had prevented her from being closer to Ring. Ring? Did I just say Ring? What the fuck is wrong with me? I'm not one to blame her at all. Let's slip a long breath. Probably a disguised yawn. I imagine she's as exhausted by all this as I am. I better leave now and give these to Aniko. Thank you for the company. Oh, wait a minute. I better leave now and give these to Hanako. Thank you for the company, Isao. She smiles very sweetly at me. It feels different than normal, despite the fact that she seems to be smiling so often. I can't put my finger on what the difference is. It's just different. Relaxed, I'd say, but that's probably just relief over getting rid of Rin, maybe. Yeah, good night. Say hi to Aniko for me. I will. Good night. Katawa Shoujo. Yep. Hey! We're playing Katawa. Okay, the joke is... as turned right. The students roll into class for the Saturday morning session, each and every one of them sporting the tired eyes of people who have worked through the night. With only a day left to prepare, I suppose it's not so surprising. Thankfully, we only have to suffer through classes until lunch break, and then our time is our own. Muto lurches into class in a tight stagger. I suppose students aren't the only people here that enjoy their light Friday nights. Without saying a word, he scrawls some page and question numbers on the board and slumps down at his desk. It's completely atypical behavior for him, but it appears that no one in the class is going to call him out on it. Wordlessly, the students shuffle their textbooks into position and get to work. Not wanting to break the trend, I do the same. Fatigue has made the class antisocial. Not a peep is heard among the ruffling papers. That can partly be attributed to the two empty seats beside me. For some reason, Misha and Chizune aren't present, probably doing console work for the festival. It's very quiet without Misha present. I wonder if she was born as rowdy as she is, or if she's making up for Chizune's lack. Nakai, can I speak to you for a moment? A minute. Okay. I'm so engrossed in thinking about Misha that I don't even notice Mewtwo approaching my desk. Sure, what's this about? Probably better if we speak outside the classroom. Something about this doesn't sound too good, but I stand up and follow him out in the hallway. Mewtwo stands in the hallway, scratching his head as he works out what he's trying to say. Now, knowing what is going on, I wait silently. So, tell me, how are things? Things? Expecting Mewtwo to be a little vague, but this is pushing the limits. You know, things. You had a week to settle now, so how are things? Fine, I guess. I see, and how is your condition? The pause before condition seemed a little unnecessary. Haven't had any problems so far. That's a lie. That's a big fat lie. A brief shimmer of relief passes across Muto's face. Good, that's good. The school nurse was a little concerned that you might have been pushing yourself a bit too hard. He asked me to keep an eye on you when he couldn't. That makes sense. Ask that you don't blow us off so freely. As much as we try to give you the level of education that you would get at normal school, you have to realize that you have limits. Our goal is to make sure that you know where those limits are and how to maximize your potential within them. Do you follow me? I guess. I mean, I don't plan on doing anything stupid. Well, that's a start, I guess. So then, on to my next question. How are you finding your studies? I understand you were laid up for a while. We're not too far ahead, are we? I don't really think so. I tried to keep up when I was in the hospital, so it hasn't been too hard. Mito taps his chin and raises an eyebrow as he absorbed this information. Is that so? I suppose there are still students out there who realize the importance of learning. Don't go as far. I was only trying to keep myself occupied in my own life super prison. Well, yeah, you've got to keep up with these things, right? That's exactly it. One wrong move in this world and you're left behind, right? Right. Wouldn't want that to happen. No, you wouldn't. Every week there's a new scientific discovery. Most of them mean nothing to the layperson, but any one of them could be the key to the next big thing. I'd keep that in mind. It's obvious that Muto's serious talk is over, and he's gone back to his standard slightly scatterbrained approach to life. I think in hindsight, that I prefer him this way. He's slightly more predictable in his unpredictability. Well then, I think that's all I really had to say. Let's get back inside, shall we? My relief at that suggestion is insurmountable. Sure, you're the boss, right? Yuta pauses for a moment. I don't think any of my students have ever said that to me before. For an instant, I consider replying to this, but something deep within me tells me to shut my mouth and get back into the classroom. A few of the students jump at the sound of the door, rapidly trying to pretend that they are working on the questions on the board. Some don't even bother. their heads slumped on the desks as they nap. Thankfully, it would appear that Mito does not even notice them. He returns to his desk and retrieves a scientific journal from one of the drawers. I guess I got to him there. The class returns to the near silence that Mito and I left it in before a chat. Mixed feelings of tiredness and anticipation buzz around the room. Everyone here is either waiting for a chance to rest or the chance to get their last-minute preparations underway. The clock on the wall slowly ticks the remaining class time away until finally the bells cry out, ending the torment. Before you all leave, I expect the answers for those problems by Monday. The class sighs as one instantly regretting slacking off, but still acutely aware of the more pressing issues at hand. The classroom empties in a blink as everyone rushes to their last-minute festival preparations. I step behind and try to quickly finish the questions so I don't have to bother with it over the rest of the weekend with the festival and all tomorrow. Oh, hey! Number one girl! Apart from me, Hanako is the only one left, obviously waiting for Lilly. It's weird that Lilly comes all the way to her classroom to pick her up. I expect that moving around is at least nominally harder for her than it is for Hanako. But it's none of my business, and I normally don't ask about it from Hanako. Despite their relative proximity of our seats, neither tries to strike up a conversation about that or anything else either, so an oppressive silence falls upon the classroom. Time passes in silence. It's probably just 15 minutes or so, but it feels longer. I turn pages of my notebook. Hanako turns pages of the novel she's reading. My pencil lead splinters against the paper just when I was about to finish a paragraph. The sounds of my irritated sigh and subsequent fumbling around for a sharpener feel like they're breaking the mood in the classroom. Hanako keeps her eyes firmly away from my direction. Before long, Lily's tall figure appears in the doorway. Hanako? Her name is all it takes to make Hanako jump up from her desk and run to Lilly. Aww. They talk quietly for a moment, but it isn't long before Lilly leaves down the hall and Hanako idles back into the classroom, taking her seat once again. I watch Hanako out of the corner of my eye, out of sheer curiosity at the idea that the two would be separated. For a couple of minutes, she does nothing but sit with her chin in her hand, staring at the desk dejectedly. The boredom evidently becomes too much for her, though, her slender frame reaching into her bag and pulling out a small book. Come to think of it, that isn't the one I saw her reading at the library. She must be quite a fast reader to get through them at this rate. But why would Lilly leave her to her own devices? It seems to be quite out of the ordinary, going by Nako's reaction. That's right. I think Lilly mentioned something about going into town today before Rin bumped into us. The thought of that walk makes me look outside. The bright sun and occasional people wandering around and enjoying the afternoon make me yearn to get out of school, or at least do something other than sit here. Giving in to one of my worst vices, procrastination. Why? I decide that history is a subject best studied on a Sunday, or Monday, or on any day other than this one. I give a grunt as I lever myself out of my seat, before briefly debating with myself whether or not to hang out with Kenji. He doesn't strike me as the enjoying the nice weather outside with others kind of person, really. I guess I'll catch up with him later. Changing tacks, I briefly entertained the idea of talking with Hanako, but by the time I look at her seat, it's vacant. She must have left for the library. Absolutely go to the library. What the hell? I am gonna go to that library. There's got to be something to do that can kill the time. Dude, I'm gonna go to the library. Wait. Oh, well, I can't. Okay. I can't go back. Okay, the library seems as good as a place as any to go. Hanako looked as if she was taken pretty off guard by Lilly leaving so she might want someone to talk to. Slinging my bag over my shoulder, I make my way out of the classroom. I walk down the hallway to the library, past a multitude of closed doors. Through each one, the sound of furious rehearsal can be heard. Rock music blares out of one door, almost as loud as a concert. I guess that's one of the advantages of a private school. There are actually enough rooms to go around at a time like this. And when I think about it, the grounds and buildings of the school are kept in pretty good condition. That can't be too cheap. Cheap. I've heard that this place has some pretty serious benefactors. The walls of the library only partially insulate the noise of the festival preparation, but they're the only sounds to be heard. Not a soul stirs here, with everyone apparently enjoying the weather outside or working on festival events. Yuko isn't here either. Maybe she doesn't work on Saturdays. I quickly walk through the library, now fairly familiar with its layout. I head to the back, where Anako's private little corner is, run my hand along the spines of the book on the way through, feeling the individual texture of each as I glance across the titles. I used to do this all the time at the library at the hospital. Some things never change, I guess. Like the smell of a library, no matter how much care you take, the paper in books is always going to degrade with time. Probably no matter which library you go into, anywhere in the world, it must have that same musty smell. I'll find something that looks like enough to read without any major thought involved, then look for Anako in the reading area. And that's where I'm going to save. There we go. Just making sure. Yeah, okay, it's there. Alright, well, that was episode 6 of Katawa Shoujo. I hope you guys liked it. Be sure, as always, we're always here asking to like, comment, subscribe. But yeah, other than that, thank you everybody so much for watching. And I will see you, as always, in the next video. Kudos.